If you want a thick, dark green, beautiful lawn all growing season long, then you are in the right place to be. Today I'm going to give you 3 steps that you can take in late spring that are going to ensure that you keep a nice, dark green, beautiful lawn all throughout the growing season. So we're in late May right now, and the temperatures are on the rise. The high temperature today is 90 degrees, and if you have cool season grass like I do, if you don't irrigate, your grass is gonna go dormant. It's just what it does to protect itself. It's gonna turn brown and not look good. So if you don't have a plan for how you're gonna keep your grass irrigated throughout the hot parts of the summer, you're in for a disaster, because those weeds, they thrive in anything. They could grow in a crack in a parking garage 50 feet off the ground. Grass, on the other hand, is a little more temperamental. So it takes some TLC to make it look good. So making sure that you get 1 to 2 inches of water on your grass every single week is one thing that you have to do to keep your grass green throughout the summertime. Easier said than done. If you have an irrigation system in the ground, that's the best way to go, but not everybody has that. So you may have to pull the hose out, move that around with a sprinkler, but getting 1 to 2 inches of irrigation on your lawn is something that's essential to keep it green all growing season long. If you're lucky, Mother Nature will take care of things for you and give you an inch of rain a week, but realistically that does not always happen. And when that doesn't happen, it's important to understand how much water you should be putting down. And there's 2 ways to do that I know of. There's probably more, but one is getting a rain gauge. A rain gauge is going to tell you exactly how much rainfall you have. You just take a look at that gauge, how much rain came down. Another way is by using the Scott's My Lawn app. That app, you type in your zip code and it's going to tell you exactly how much rain you've had throughout that week and how much you're going to need to add when it comes to your water. Let's go take a look right now, because my neighbor has a nice lawn, but they haven't turned on their irrigation yet. And I've been running mine for about a month already because I did a new seeding project that I'll show you a little bit more of at the end of the video. So let's take a look at the difference between a lawn that's been irrigated and one that has not. Even in springtime, if you're not getting much rainfall, your grass is going to start to go dormant. And my grass on this side, I've been running the sprinkler. On this side is my neighbor's. They have a sprinkler system, but it's not yet connected. And they have brand new Kentucky bluegrass sod that they put in last year. I'll give you an up-close look, but you can see the part that's been irrigated is nice and thick and green, and the one that's not been irrigated, it looks like it's still partially dormant. So it's really important that if you want to have that nice, thick green lawn, you got to take the time and you got to spend the money to put the water on your grass, because if you don't, you're at the will of Mother Nature, and that does not always work out well. Irrigated, not irrigated. When it comes to watering your grass, just like everything in life, timing is everything. So when you're watering your grass, the best thing to do is do deep, infrequent watering. That means 2 or 3 times a week, put down about a ½ inch of water instead of watering every day. If you water every day, the roots of the grass are not going to dig down as deep because they don't have to go down to get that water. It's readily available right at the top of the soil all the time. So if you do those deep waterings, the roots are going to dig down deeper, and it's going to be more resilient, your grass that is, when you get to the stressful parts of the summer where it's really hot. If you have those deep roots, the grass can dig down deeper to pull nutrients and water from the soil if it has those deep roots. Also, when it comes to watering in the morning is the best time. I usually water around 6 a.m. It's cool, it's not too windy typically. If you have a lot of wind and you have an irrigation system, it can blow the water in different places and you can end up having some dry spots. So timing is everything. Make sure you're doing a good job staying on top of your watering. And if you do, your grass is going to stay nice and green when everybody else's is going brown and turning dormant. If you don't water in the morning time, and let's say you water later on in the day or in the afternoon, if you do it in the afternoon, you're going to lose a lot of that water to evaporation. So if you're paying for that water, you're throwing money down the drain. If you water in the late evening or nighttime and you get warm temperatures, if that grass doesn't get an opportunity to dry out at nighttime, you're going to have some fungus issues. So you're going to get things like dollar spot, Pythium, all kinds of different problems that I've had in the past because I've made these mistakes. That's why I know about this stuff, because I've made all these mistakes before, and I've taken the last 8 years to learn all this stuff. So now I'm trying to give you all the knowledge of the things I wish I had known back then. So you've got your watering down, you're trying to get that 1 inch of water per week. The next thing is to make sure that you stay up on your fertilization. You don't need to hammer your lawn with fertilizer all the time, but you're definitely gonna need to fertilize at least twice a year. I go a little excessive with it because I cut my grass like this, like a golf course at 5/8 of an inch. So doing an application right around this time of year is perfect, because if you look around your grass right now, you're gonna notice a lot of seed heads if you lived in the Midwest like I do. Some people confuse those with weeds. They're like, what's up with all these weeds everywhere? But the Kentucky bluegrass, perennial rye, and tall fescue, those all put out seed heads because everything in springtime tries to reproduce. Although those seed heads are typically sterile, so when they come off, they're probably not gonna grow new grass for you. But realizing that that grass plant spends a lot of energy putting those seed heads out. So once you see the seed heads, try to mow those things off. And then right after, that's a great time to fertilize because of all that energy that was spent in putting in the energy for those seed heads. So I'm gonna be putting down a natural fertilizer here in about a week, but everything's still looking really green, so I think I'm good to go for right now. So figure out what you think is best for you, either a synthetic or an organic fertilizer. I like to alternate between both. So I put down my lawn food, that Simple Lawn Solutions 15015 already. That's the only application I've done so far. The water that I use to water is also nutrient rich because my sprinkler pump pulls the water right out of the lake, which is really awesome. So staying on top of that fertilization is the second step in making sure you keep that thick green, beautiful lawn all summer and all growing season. Step number 3 is thinking ahead to what is coming next. And right now with the warm temperatures, everything is on the rise when it comes to things germinating and coming back to life. So what I'm thinking about right now is what can I do to prevent the problems that might arise in the future? Because when it comes to your lawn, it's easier to prevent things than it is to cure them once things have already happened. So things like fungus, grub problems, those are issues that are going to be coming up if you don't do anything to prevent them right now. So the first thing I would recommend, we're in late May right now, is make sure you put down a grub preventer. If you don't prevent those grubs, they are the larvae of those Asian beetles or the larvae of different types of beetles. So those things are underground, and in their life cycle, they come to life and they grow by eating the roots of your grass. So if you don't put a preventer down, they're gonna eat up the roots of your grass, which is gonna make it look brown and dead. And a lot of people are like, why does my grass look dead? It's because they have a grub problem. Also in the fall, if you don't do anything about your grubs, skunks and raccoons and different animals can hear those things underground. So they want to eat them, so they'll tear up your turf, they'll go in and they will rip up your lawn, and you wake up one morning and come outside and it's like, what happened to my lawn? It's totally torn up. It's because of those grubs. So make sure you are preventing those grubs right now. I'm putting down Scott's Grub X today, and that's gonna help me all throughout the growing season and into the fall. Putting down a grub prevention may be the best money you spend all season on anything. And when it comes to grub prevention, now is the perfect time. On the packaging, it says to apply late spring to early summertime. And right now we're getting to temperatures that feel like summer. So that's gonna speed up the life cycle of those grubs. So this was $15 on Amazon. It's on sale right now. I'll put a link in the description to this. If you want to have it sent to your house in 2 days from Amazon, that's what I like to do. So I'm going to put this out today. It says to put it on spreader setting 3.5 for my Scott's Broadcast spreader. Trust me, if you're thinking, well, I've never had grubs before, my lawn has looked pretty good, don't wait until you get grubs to take care of them. Prevent them from happening in the first place, and that's why you use this. It doesn't have to be Scott's, it can be any kind of grub preventer. But make sure you're putting this down now, otherwise you're gonna have issues later in the summer and in the fall, like I mentioned. This bag treats 5,000 square feet, which is perfect because I have almost exactly 5,000 square feet. So I'm gonna put the Grub X down right now, and then to activate this, it says it's activated with 1 inch of water, which is perfect because today is the day that I water anyway. So after you put down your Grub X, make sure you water that in, and ideally get about 1 inch of that water. So our last step in prevention is preventing disease and fungus that are gonna happen this summer once the temperatures get high and the humidity starts to come up. And there's two different products typically that people use to prevent fungus and disease. And the active ingredients are azoxystrobin, which you would find in Scott's Disease X. This is something that's commonly used by people, and this helps prevent brown patch. However, azoxystrobin does not prevent all types of fungus and disease. Another really common type of fungus prevention is propiconazole. And propiconazole is found in this product. So this is called Bio-Advanced Fungus Control for Lawns, and it has 2.42% propiconazole. And this is gonna help prevent the other types of fungus like dollar spot, pythium, those different things that are common when the weather starts to warm up and we get that humidity. Also, when it comes to your watering, like I mentioned earlier, it's important to water in the morning, because if you water at night and your grass stays wet and it doesn't have a chance to dry out, you're gonna get fungus and you're gonna get disease. With this product, one thing that's important, if you put down a preventative fungicide, it's important to alternate them. So don't always use the exact same product, because your grass is gonna build a tolerance to that and then it's no longer gonna work. Just like a human being can't have the same prescriptions for medicines all the time because we build up a tolerance. So what I like to do when it comes to my fungus prevention is I alternate between the two different groups. So I go with group 3. It says on the packaging right here, this is propiconazole. It says group 3. I'll use this for 2 applications. So I'll do this in early June. So I'll do this next week. I'll do it again in late June. And then next in July, when I put down my next application, I go with this. It's called 3336F. This is a group 1 fungicide. Propiconazole is a group 3. This is a group 1. So if you choose fungicides from different groups, you're not gonna build up that tolerance the way you would if you just use the same fungicide all the time. Why is there gotta be so much that goes into lawn care to make everything look nice? I don't really know, but it's a finicky plant. It needs lots of love, but if you do things the right way, it is awesome. So the last step for you, kick back, look around, and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Thanks so much for watching this video. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Here's an update on the seeding project that I did. It was in late April that I put this seed down. We had really cold temperatures for a lot of days straight, and it took a little while for this to germinate, but now every day when I come out here, it looks thicker and thicker, and I'm really happy with the look of this Barenbrug RPR regenerating perennial ryegrass.